My amp unit! Happy Smackdown on Fox Day? I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We've already had a huge week in the pro wrestling world when you talk about Monday Night Raw's season premiere, leading into the Wednesday Night Wars with AEW and NXT. And if you thought you could sit back and catch your breath for a minute, no, because now Friday Night Smackdown debuts on Fox tonight. And even after tonight, when you think you can catch your breath then and sit back, relax for a minute, collect yourself, no, Hell in a Cell this Sunday night with a huge double main event. So just literally one of the biggest weeks that I can recall in the pro wrestling world. And in this podcast, I have a lot to do obviously today and this weekend, guys. But I promise you at least over a half an hour of this podcast. I assure you of that. I don't know how close we'll be able to go to that hour mark, but I promise you at least over a half an hour filled with plenty of different topics. For instance, we're going to go over the Hell in a Cell card today in this video. In this podcast, you are going to get the Hell in a Cell preview. Now, mind you, there's only like 3 announced matches, so it's not going to take that long, but this is the official preview video for Hell in a Cell. That'll be coming up later. We'll talk a little bit of CM Punk and his return to WWE in a way, in a roundabout way. But this is all but confirmed, guys, and we will talk about that in a minute. We'll also talk about the injuries from NXT TakeOver. There was plenty of them, and we're going to go over that as well. We'll go over the entire Smackdown card for tonight. So that's all coming up within the next at least half an hour, guys. Tonight is the Yankees Game 1 at Yankee Stadium taking on the Twins. Rumor has it, word around the campfire, that the Amplified Man does have a ticket for that. I cannot deny nor confirm. We'll have to see. Hopefully that pulls through for the Amplified Man. That would be awesome. Before the game, hopefully, I'm trying to find an hour or two to head over to Brooklyn and hang out with JD for a couple of hours, have a couple of beers, go a few rounds, and shoot the shit, man. I think that would be an amplified situation, man, but in a fun way, man. 2 alpha dudes shooting the shit, and there's going to be other company as well that I've never met, so hopefully I get a chance to from the community. But, so that's all happening before. Again, I got the Yankee game, and then I'm going to have to catch Smackdown. I don't know, maybe I'll have it simultaneously, like on my fucking phone somehow, while I'm at the stadium. Or I just have to watch it at like midnight, 1 a.m., whatever the fuck the deal is. No matter what, you guys tomorrow morning will be getting the Smackdown on Fox review show. That will be tomorrow, guys. I promise you that, no matter what happens. When I have to watch this Smackdown show tonight, you guys will be getting this review tomorrow morning, one way or the other. So let's get right into it. Like I said, I got lots to do, so I want to start with Smackdown itself tonight. The pre-show, there is going to be a pre-show on Fox, guys, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, on what they're calling the blue carpet. Hollywood has its red carpet, and yes, they are actually in LA, but they're rolling out the blue carpet because it is the blue brand. I love that concept. All of the stars are going to be there. Obviously, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Some celebrities are going to be there as well. Not that The Rock isn't. Returning tonight, they have The Rock, Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, and a plethora of other SmackDown stars from the past. So that'll be interesting to see how they're used, or is it just going to be a bunch of nonsensical backstage segments like the usual reunion shows, or are they just going to be kind of sprinkled in the crowd? Or are some of these legends going to put over some of the younger talent, maybe do the D, do a job to them? Not in a match, but just make a youngster look good, you know, get your ass whooped by one of these youngsters. That's what I want to see more of. I love the feel-good moments of nostalgia, but I really would like to see some ass kicking. I would like to see these veterans, these legends, start putting over the younger talent, make them look strong. We don't see enough of that. We just see these legends come back, a feel-good moment, and it doesn't lead to anything, which leads everybody to think it was a nonsensical bullshit segment. What does it lead to? What did any of that matter? Just to say hello? That's awesome. I love the hellos. I love the nostalgia. But fuck, after all this time, I mean, all of these superstars have been back multiple times. Austin, Undertaker, Rock, Goldberg. Let's start doing something more with them. Now, at least with Goldberg, I mean, he has matches, sort of. Minute, 2 minutes. If that. But still, at least they do something with him, man. I just want to see some of these dudes just take a bump. You know, it's okay if Austin gets his ass whooped. You know, let it happen. If The Rock comes back and he gets his fucking ass whooped by somebody, hey, put someone over, man. You're the fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You don't need this shit anymore anyway. Put somebody over. Could you imagine that? The Rock is getting annihilated by somebody? Pretty cool, right? Pretty fucking badass. If you had the Revival and Randy Orton, for instance, beating the shit out of The Rock for 10 minutes, putting him through a fucking table, or who knows. Gently, you don't want to ruin his Hollywood career. Get those freaking Hollywood lawyers coming after you. You put him through a table? He's worth $1 billion! But all of those superstars are coming back tonight, guys. Now, the matches, we have a WWE Championship match tonight. Kofi Kingston is defending his championship against Brock Lesnar. Now, many in the community are thinking there's no way Brock Lesnar walks out of LA in this Fox debut without the strap. But I'm thinking there's no heavyweight championship match for Hell in a Cell. So maybe there is a possibility, I believe, a window is open for the thought that Brock Lesnar somehow doesn't walk away with the title, but maybe there's a rematch at Hell in a Cell, and that's where he gets the title. But you do have to believe Fox and Vince want a huge dramatic moment tonight, so maybe Brock does indeed get it tonight. I just think that if you have no championship match at a big pay-per-view like Hell in a Cell, wouldn't you need something like kinda quick? It's in just 2 days. I mean, this would be the only way you could rush a match. Something dramatic happens tonight, but Brock doesn't get the title, and then you have to make an immediate 48 hours later rematch. I don't know. All eyes will be on this match, no question, for the heavyweight championship. Now, Charlotte and Becky will be taking on Sasha and Bayley. Now, we just saw this at Madison Square Garden a few weeks ago at the reunion show, did we not? Well, that wasn't the reunion. I think that was Tampa Bay. But Madison Square Garden, I believe we saw this match. And it was good. It delivered for me. A lot of the community didn't like it. I personally loved it. I thought everybody was rolling on all cylinders. So I'm okay with seeing this again. And usually I don't like rematches. But when you have these 4 females, they just click, they jive, and there's a great chemistry. So I love that shit. Let's rock it out. Now, Sasha and Bayley, I don't know. Sasha obviously has her match for Hell in a Cell. Bayley's kind of up in the air. Is she going to get Charlotte for Hell in a Cell? Because Candice LeRae did challenge Bayley, but I have some news on Candice LeRae that you might not like a little bit later in this podcast. That kind of pretty much definitely puts her out of a Bayley match. So it looks like Bayley and Charlotte's going to be made official, if it isn't already by the time you guys see this video. But do we need to see this tag match again? Obviously not. But Vince knows that these 4 are the best that he can put out there for the women's division and showcase them in the brightest spot. He knows that he can trust these 4 women. And you're on Fox with the debut. You don't want to fuck up here. No offense to the female division, but there's not too many in there that you can trust. And the ones that you can, he doesn't give the time of day to, like Asuka and Ember Moon. That I don't like to see. We're expecting Naomi to come back soon, possibly even tonight, but I don't think she'll be in a prominent role. The Usos are supposed to return tonight, so expect the Usos to come back on tonight's Fox debut of Smackdown. But as far as females, I think Vince looked at these 4 and said, let's put them in there, let's showcase them for 20 minutes, and let's show the Fox world what our females can do. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with these 4 females. I just wish he gave more time to Asuka, Ember Moon, and such. But such is life. And then you go into Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon in a ladder match. I'm looking forward to this. Yes, we've seen them take on each other 4 or 5 times already. We've seen them in Hell in a Cell. We've seen them in an basically I Quit match, tag match at WrestleMania. It was basically I Quit. I mean, if Kevin Owens... Okay, actually, it was nothing like I Quit. But my point is, if Kevin Owens lost that tag match at WrestleMania, him and Sami Zayn are gone from WWE. And then we saw kind of that same type of situation So basically, they've just been trying to get one another out of the WWE for quite some time. We'll just leave it at that. That's the best way to put it. So yes, I don't like rematches usually, but when you have Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon in a ladder match, yeah, that's my main event personally. I know it's going to be probably Brock and Kofi, but I'm most looking forward to Owens and McMahon and what they're going to do. That's take my money situation, and this is on Fox for free, so I'm keeping my money in my wallet, and I'm still going to tune in. So we all win in this case, man. Owens and McMahon should definitely deliver. And Roman Reigns and Erick Rowan also have a match tonight. Now, this is going to be the final process in their storyline before we get to their tag match at Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan taking on Erick Rowan and Luke Harper. So that's what I mean, guys. This isn't just a debut on Fox. This is also the go-home show to Hell in a Cell. So this is a double whammy, big-time type of situation tonight. All eyes will be on Smackdown. And again, all the legends coming back as well. Rock, Steve Austin, Undertaker, Hogan, Goldberg, Edge, so many more. Moving on. More news. CM Punk. I know I don't like talking about him either because we're always talking about CM Punk news and it's for nothing. The guy hasn't done anything in pro wrestling for fucking over 5 years easily. But CM Punk has been on. This is kind of big because he is. I told you guys when I started this channel, I said CM Punk will work for WWE one day. And I had people that are like, never, BC. On his wedding day, he got papers. It's never going to happen, BC. On this one, I love you, BC. Usually you're right, BC, but on this one, you're going to be wrong. No. What do I always tell you? Sit back, relax. I'll end up being right. Even if it takes a while. I said CM Punk and AJ Lee will both be back in WWE. Well, guess what? In a roundabout way, it's already started. First of all, CM Punk has already said that he is willing to accept phone calls from WWE. He was asked directly, would you take a phone call from them? Would you do business with? And he said, I'm open to all offers. I've never said I wasn't. He said, I just shouldn't have to go to them. They come to me. I'm absolutely willing to answer. I'm absolutely willing to pick up the phone. But Punk has already admitted that. And then we found out a week later, he went to try out for this Fox job. He went for this recap and analysis show called Backstage that's going to be hosted by Renee Young and Booker T. And CM Punk, from what we are hearing, has been offered the weekly co-host job on Backstage. And also, from what we're hearing, he has accepted. Obviously, I mean, if you tried out for it, that means you wanted to do it. And when they said, hey, we want you, of course you're going to accept it. You're the one who started it. So it looks like CM Punk is confirmed to return to WWE's Fox FS1 weekly recap show. Now, yes, BC, it's not directly for Vince, so he isn't returning. Don't be delusional. Don't be naive. Do you honestly think Vince doesn't have a hand in this show? Actually, BC, in this article, it says Vince will have nothing to do with the show. Don't be delusional. If you honestly think Vince has nothing at all to do with a show on FS1 dedicated to his product, you are delusional and naive. This is absolutely just the beginning. CM Punk, for a job, is going to be talking about WWE on WWE's affiliate Fox, FS1. And he's already said he's open to take phone calls, and Triple H was just asked about the situation. Triple H should never say never. And Triple H is willing to do business down the line. Obviously, this is leading to one thing. Punk is ready to return. Punk has said 10 times in the last week that he has grown, matured, and he looks back at the shit that he did back in the day, and he even blames himself on a lot of shit. So everybody that was just blaming WWE, Punk admitted that he was just immature back in the day. And he would walk around the locker room and be miserable, and he didn't blame everyone for saying, oh, here comes that guy. And they would turn and walk the other way because Punk was so miserable. Now, yes, WWE played a part in that most likely. Everybody you work for is going to fucking treat you like shit at times, no question. It's up to you to deal with it the right way in the correct ways. Punk admitted he didn't. So he has now grown, matured, and guess what? The Amplified Man was right. Whether you like it or not, I was. He's coming back. This is just the beginning. You honestly think in the future Punk will not have anything to do directly with WWE? You're delusional and naive. But you can keep thinking that, and we'll all wait and see who's right in the end. And it's not even about being who's right. It's just about the fact that you better get used to the fact that CM Punk is returning to WWE. The only other thing he could have done was show up in Chicago at All Out or the debut episode of AEW. That would have been the most dramatic impact. Those have passed, and now we're getting word that he is a lock for the new FS1 show Backstage with Renee Young and Booker T. So that's the news, guys, and that's the truth. You're gonna have all the people that were so against WWE and you were so on CM Punk's side. He'll never return, and I don't blame him. He's looking at you guys and going, sucks for you. I'm coming back. You can stay in your zone, man, or you can follow. And that means AJ Lee can finally come back home too, man. And again, it's not even a wrestle. AJ Lee just to say hello. We've seen a Royal Rumble with all the females. The first ever, she missed it. We've seen first ever Hell in a Cells and this, that, and the other thing. First ever for the females. AJ Lee has missed it all. She finally gets to come back. Not that Punk was, holding people captive, but you know that she didn't come back because she was standing by her husband. Hey, that's admirable. That's cool to a point. But there's times where you have to come home and just say, what's up, man? AJ Lee was always on good terms with WWE. So we finally get to see her back as well. I think that's going to be cool. So that's the CM Punk news I have, guys. In a roundabout way, he is returning to WWE. Sort of. But in the future, most definitely within that company. I want to talk injuries from TakeOver real quick. And I'm sorry, did I say TakeOver? I meant NXT on USA. But if you would have never known because it was treated as a mini TakeOver. But NXT on USA, all the boys and gals brought it. And because of that, there were some injuries. Unfortunately, Candice LeRae has a neck contusion and is being evaluated on a day-to-day basis. Shane Thorne also is listed day-to-day with an AC sprain. Kyle O'Reilly, one half of the tag champs for NXT, he also has an AC sprain and is listed day-to-day as well. So with Shane Thorne and Kyle O'Reilly and Candice LeRae, we're kind of waiting on word with them. Unfortunately, Matt Riddle is not cleared. Matt Riddle is out with a possible concussion, although we can't confirm that. We do know that he is not medically cleared right now to compete or for action. Based on footage from WWE themselves, we clearly see Riddle post-show going through concussion protocol. So that leads us to believe that WWE, when they posted this footage, he was going through concussion protocol, and then we found out he's not medically cleared. I think we can come to the conclusion that he is being treated as a concussion situation, and we hope the best for Matt Riddle, man. Sometimes concussions, you're back in 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 2 months. Sometimes it takes people 6 months. Everybody reacts differently to this type of thing. And Matt Riddle is really on his A game right now. He's always been, but lately especially, we really want to see Riddle back in action as soon as possible. So we hope all those boys and gals get back and medically cleared real soon. Up next, guys, I want to talk... You know what I want to do, guys? I'll give you guys the Hell in a Cell preview right now because, again, this isn't going to take long. This is a 3-match card as it stands. Now, obviously, starting today, maybe by the time you guys view this video and going forward with the weekend, there's going to be more matches announced. But as of right now, there's 3. There's a Hell in a Cell double main event. One of them is Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. I said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't see how Bray Wyatt walks away without that strap. Or I would have never put him in this situation to begin with. I wouldn't have. And it has nothing to do with not being creative enough to come up with a way for Bray to leave the cell without the championship. It has everything to do with the fact that it shouldn't happen. He needs to look ultra dominant. If this Fiend character has one goal in mind, getting that title, then he needs to do it. You can't have the Fiend have a goal and then instantly his first real big match on a big stage, because Finn Balor, we knew that was just an inevitable squash. But this is his first real big match. You can't have him not walk away with the prize. And as much as I say, Bray is one of those characters like The Undertaker that doesn't need the title. He doesn't. His character doesn't need a championship. But you put him in between a rock and a hard place right now. You put him in a situation where he has to walk out with the title. I don't see a way around it. And then you must have him go undefeated for another year. He has to hold that title for a year before somebody finally takes it off of him. That's how I see this going. How the fuck do you have him not walk away with the championship? Are you really going to have some schmozzery? And it better be something that's going to blow us away, man. Jaws dropped when Hell in a Cell goes off the air. If you're going to make Bray Wyatt not walk away with the strap, you better jaw drop us. This better be a cliffhanger for the ages. On top of that, you have the other, I'm calling it a main event anyway as well. A double main event. This is Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell as well. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Because obviously we're a pro Sasha Banks channel, but just because Sasha Banks puts on a good match with anyone, she could be in there with a fucking cucumber or a fucking tangerine, and she's gonna have a 5-star match, Meltzer. You put her in there with Becky Lynch, who is definitely a brute. Pound for pounder, man, this is gonna be a fucking badass brawl. With some wrestling mixed in, but I think they're just gonna beat the shit. I honestly believe that internally they're just going to want to try to one-up one another. And that's going to lead to not just ultimate competition, but some badassery. Maybe some stiff shots in there. I'm going to like this one, definitely. And then, obviously, the third match is Roman Reigns. You got to fit Roman on the card. Roman and Daniel Bryan taking on Rowan and Harper. Yes, this match isn't captivating anybody. Yes, it's not blowing our anticipation through the waters. No, what it's doing, though, is it's finally culminating, or it should be, this storyline that has been going on for months. If anything develops from this, it has to develop literally from that match. Like, in other words, if you're going to do Reigns and Daniel Bryan, even though they're both a face, it's got to stem from this match. But I don't know how much longer we can keep going with Harper and Rowan and Roman Reigns. This thing has been going for a few months now. I think this has to culminate that. The only thing I want going forward, if you're going to do it, is Reigns and Daniel Bryan, face versus face. Let's just get it done. Or did they totally nix that because they wanted Daniel Bryan as a face? So that's why they just threw him as a tag team, and now we're not going to get Reigns and Bryan. I have no fucking idea. I just know that we need to see a definitive ending of sorts in this tag team match with Reigns and Bryan versus Harper and Rowan. And those are your 3 matches. The possibilities that we could be getting for Hell in a Cell is, again, Bayley and Charlotte. Candice LeRae challenged Bayley, but unfortunately, as I said, A, I don't think Vince would ever let Candice LeRae get that big stage, and B, Candice LeRae is dealing with a minor injury, or we hope is minor, so we just don't see Candice LeRae getting her opportunity. It'll be Charlotte Flair, it looks like, against Bayley, if they even have that match. Drew Gulak versus Lio Rush for the Cruiserweight title might be a match for Hell in a Cell. Again, a WWE title match. Maybe Brock Lesnar has a rematch with Kofi coming up Sunday, but we expect the title to be on the line. Nakamura, will he take on Ali? Or maybe Miz again? Who knows? But that Intercontinental title match could be a possibility for Hell in a Cell. These are all possibilities, guys. Again, I mean, you could have my pizza guy down at the local pizza shop, Luigi Lugnuts, have a match. Nobody knows. It's only 3 cards on this motherfucker. We all have to wait and see. But it's funny because even though there's 3 matches, man, the double main event is so huge for me that I can't wait. It just feels huge to me, and they've only announced 3 matches. It's amazing to me, but that's how huge these 2 title matches are for Hell in a Cell. I want to end off with a little ratings rant, guys. For some reason, there's these people in the community that just want to attack people that follow ratings, right? Or just be like, they're wondering why, and they want to push their narrative. Ratings don't mean anything. Why do people dick ride the ratings? It's amazing to me that in 2019, people follow ratings. They mean nothing. Do they even know this? And they think they're sounding smart. In reality, ratings are the only measurement we have, the only metrics, the only tallies that we have right now that can tell us who's watching what. Are they pinpointed to the exact number? No. Are they the closest we have metric-wise? Yes. So until you come up with a better way, that's how we conclude who's watching what. You have to know who's watching your product. If you're a chef and you own a restaurant, you have to know what times your establishment is getting the most business. You have to know your clientele. You have to know every metric of your business, right? I mean, that's just, you have to know your product and who is watching it, viewing it, eating your shit. giving you a chance, giving you the time of day, you have to know, right? It's the reason our country, the United States, puts together what's called a census. A census tells you who the fuck is in your country, right? I mean, yes, is it an exact number? No, because there's a lot of different variables that come into play and you don't really know how many people are in your country, but they try to put together a roundabout number, and it's the best thing we have to kind of tell us. It's called a census. You have to know how many people are doing what for your product. So for people to say that ratings don't mean anything, to who? To you, but don't put that shit on us. We're following it because it means absolutely something. It's telling the channels, TNT and USA, it's telling them that something is not working or is not working good enough. It tells them that another channel that is putting together the same type of product is doing better than them. Ratings tell you that people are tuning out because they don't like the shit. They can even pinpoint the age demographic. That's how much ratings are important. They can say 18 to 35 is watching this, or 18 to 45, or 18 to 49, I think, is a huge demographic. They can tell you 65 to 79. They can tell you 18 to 25. They can pinpoint the age metric, and that is what I mean. It is so important. The idiots saying it's not important, they couldn't be more delusional. It's actually very important. When you have a television show, you have to find a way to chart that shit. Get the metrics. You have to tally your numbers up. The Nielsen media ratings is the best metric system that we have. There's no better system, and until you provide us with a better one, of course we're going to follow it. It is so odd to me that people are upset, that people are viewing the... What does it matter to you? If people are into the ratings, how is that upsetting your life? You got upset because somebody else is following ratings because that is how we judge who is actually beating the other? What wrongs a company is doing and what rights another one is doing? These idiots are like, we should just sit back and enjoy the wrestling. No, idiot. Do you know what ratings are going to do? If they're not high enough, the network is going to boot the show. If the show is booted, either they find another night if they're lucky, or they try to stay alive, and if they don't, the company is gone. Remember a company called WCW when their ratings started to tank? Yeah. Do you honestly think if NXT was to pull .2s, .3s for 2 years, that USA is going to be like, yeah, we're going to renew you? No. USA is going to say, bye-bye. You either go back to the network or you're done as far as television, which means you're done as a company. You're back to just being developmental. Or if AEW just starts pulling .2s for 2 years straight, TNT is not going to keep AEW. So if you're telling me not to worry about the ratings, that is how we determine if this company is going to last for 5 years. Ratings mean everything. It's so mind-boggling how upset people are getting because people are tuned into the ratings. We're watching the product. We're not watching on Wednesday nights going, oh my God, ratings, like I can't wait till ratings. No, we're watching. We're wanting the best. We were all fans to the highest degree on Wednesday night. Nobody was thinking about ratings at that time. When it was all said and done, yes. If you're an analytical statistics guy like yours truly and you love numbers like yours truly, yes, I'm looking at the numbers. It tells a fascinating story. It tells you who was watching what and even more than the other. How does that not matter? BC, in 2019, there's cord cutters, there's Hulu, there's watching on the internet now. The number isn't as accurate. First of all, bullshit, the number is very accurate. They're actually even tracking Netflix these days. But they're actually tracking YouTube as well in some roundabout way. Nielsen has figured out a way to track basically everything. DVR, you name it. They're getting better and better as times keep changing. Just amazing. Amazing that people are just that delusional and naive as to what ratings still do. Just because there's different outlets to view things doesn't mean ratings don't matter and they don't mean everything. They are what boots a product from a channel. They will boot a company from a channel, and then you are left scrambling for another network. It's what WCW went out of business for. Eric Bischoff could have bought in WCW. If you listen to Eric Bischoff's words, he was handed WCW, but TNT said they would not be on their network. And Eric Bischoff said, but without the network, I had no product. I have nothing to display it on. I have the ring, I have the rights, I have nothing to put on a show with, and there's no network. So Eric Bischoff had to decline because he knew without a network, there was no company. Without no company, people's jobs are on the line. You will lose your job. If your show is not performing, the network kicks you off. If you're not able to find another network, I mean, at least NXT can fall back on the WWE network. But if you're not able to find another network, or if things go awry, your job and your career and your livelihood is on the line. It all stems from ratings because that's how we base your performance. Is this not getting through? And if you're wondering why fans are so into the ratings, it's because it's public knowledge and we follow pro wrestling vividly. And that's a huge part of this. There are smart fans out there that enjoy the product when it's going on, and then afterwards we want to find out the info and the ratings afterwards to see where each company is going to go from there. These ratings tell us that now Triple H is going to up the ante even more. AEW is already talking. Chris Jericho already did an interview yesterday, and Chris Jericho was already talking about how WWE was embarrassed and how they kicked WWE's ass. These are Chris Jericho's exact words. He's talking about the ratings. The wrestlers are even following them, even if they try to tell you they're not. Their World Heavyweight Champion is talking about them. We're not supposed to? But even more mind-boggling to me is the fact that people are upset that fans are following ratings. That's what you're upset about in life? Unfucking real, man. I saw that a lot on social media. Oh, all these people looking at ratings. Fucking idiots. Just sit back and enjoy the show. You sit back and enjoy the show. You be a simple-minded dipshit that will take anything given to him or her. You do that. I'm going to be the knowledgeable one who knows what the fuck they're talking about and knows why shit's being done in the future, stemming from what happened with the ratings in the past. Does that make sense? Maybe for some of you not. Those are the ones that don't know why people are following the ratings. You didn't understand a word I just said, did you? Yeah, I'm a little smarter than the average bear, boo-boo. Anyway, before I do anything else today, I'm getting a coffee, and I'm going to go over more ratings news. How's that? Just to piss the community off. Ratings, ratings, ratings. I'm the ratings boogeyman. The Amplified Man. Enjoy Smackdown tonight, guys. Gonna be fucking off the chart, no doubt. If you're a Yankees fan, enjoy the Yankee game tonight. If you're at the stadium, keep an eye out for the Amplified Man. I'll be roaming around, basically beer station to beer station. Kidding! Sort of. But keep your eyes open for the Amplified Man. Say what's up if you see me. Or give me a big, huge, fuck you, BC. I'll take that too, man. I love you guys. And then we go to Hell in a Cell Sunday. I hope to have another... Yeah, what am I saying, guys? Tomorrow, I'm going to have the Smackdown review show. So, I'll see you guys in 24 hours. For now, kick Friday's ass. Kick this weekend's ass. I got to hit the bricks. Yow! Check you later.